Okay, let's first of all quickly note I am not a lawyer, I'm not a financial advisor. Everything I'm going to be talking about in this video is purely my opinion, and I'm pretty stupid. So don't take this at all as advice or as really what's going to happen. These are just my thoughts after looking around on the internet. Having said that, I've been checking out a little bit about the SEC, of course, in regards to the lawsuit against Ripple. And what I kind of noticed is that we're basically waiting for one thing to unfold, which is basically that the SEC notices that they, first of all, made a mistake, and second of all, are actually causing a lot more harm with what they're doing right now, rather than really the end result of this lawsuit. But more on that I'll talk about in this video. I am giving away 250 XRP if this video hits 1,500 likes within 24 hours. All you have to do is make sure you press the like button, subscribe, and comment something down below. But I'm also asking you guys to share this one so we can actually find out exactly what is allowed and what is not allowed by the SEC and what they can really get away with. As I've been reading a little bit, right? And again, I'm not even from the US, so I didn't know too much about the difference between commissions and real departments, basically. But somebody asked on Quora, securities law, what gives the SEC the right to sue a company, and where do the proceeds of a lawsuit settlement go if they win? So Aaron Brown here says, everyone has the right to sue, you could sue. The SEC, as you might guess from the name, is a commission and not a government agency. Therefore, it does not have the power to enforce the law directly, it has to go to court, or enlist the Justice Department to go to court for it in order to make the decision stick. Of course, most of the time things are settled without going to court because A, the SEC gets a lot of respect from federal judges and wins a lot, and B, because most firms are reluctant to accept the negative publicity of even an SEC investigation, much less a lawsuit. So it's not a question of what gives it the right to sue, it's why does it have to sue to enforce its decisions. Each lawsuit is different, but generally any verdict or settlement, and here's where it gets important, is used to compensate victims in some manner, with money also going to the Treasury and sometimes whistleblowers, but not to the SEC, and certainly not divided up among the SEC staff. But the most important part about this is, generally, any verdict or settlement is used to compensate victims in some manner. So I hope that you guys all know that Ripple's being sued for $1.3 billion, right? I think everybody knows that by now, but Ripple lawsuit could invoke billions in losses to innocent third parties, says former SEC commissioner. Once more, share this over on Twitter, guys, to help us out so we can figure this all out together, what exactly is happening and what we're waiting for, because I think we kind of got a good picture. The crypto community is extremely curious about what will happen to Ripple Labs and the token asset XRP after the US SEC Commission recently filed a lawsuit against Ripple and two executives. On December 25th, the large crypto exchange Bitstamp announced delisting XRP for US customers, and a former SEC commissioner thinks the lawsuit will invoke multi-billion losses to innocent third parties. So what I'm thinking here is, first of all, the SEC sued Ripple for $1.3 billion, with the idea that they were, if you read the lawsuit, are, I guess, offering investment contracts which they did not have the right to because these are not securities, but they acted like they were securities, right? That's the bigger picture behind it. Of course, it's a freaking 70-pager, so you can't just summarize it in a couple of words, but basically that's what it comes down to. And as we just read in this Quora article here, and I know Quora is not the freaking law book, but it's to give me a little bit of an idea about what the SEC is kind of doing and where the money is going to go. I presume a lawsuit like this, which is talking about the last 7 years, because it's been from 2013 up to now, is mostly with the idea that, hey, they've done something which is not allowed. We want to prevent that in the future, but we more so are curious about this investment contract that you made, and we want to either seize these operations or we want to make sure those people get compensated. Because if I'm thinking about this, right, if they want to seize the operations, wouldn't there be an easier way to go about this? At least I kind of feel as if they should have had a better way to go about it, rather than saying a day before resigning, Jay Clayton saying, hey, we're going to sue you, adios amigo, and then also, as they did, give Ripple, whom they want to possibly seize all these things. I mean, okay, listen, let's go 2 steps back. There could be two main kind of priorities for the SEC. One is they would like to compensate everybody who was lost. The second is they don't want Ripple to continue with this security selling, but not really regarding the bigger giving people their money back part. That could be a side motive. If you think about this second one, where they just want Ripple to seize their operations, they're afraid of the power, or they're afraid of, them just selling on top of people, anything like that, The reason I kind of feel as if that one is BS, or I don't want to say those words out loud, but just stupid, is because they did tell Ripple 24 hours up front that they are going to be suing them, or at least that they could be suing them. We all know nobody wants to be associated with the SEC, and that maybe they thought Ripple would just quit out of themselves, but what Ripple did is they just told us, hey, we might get sued. But as we all know, if Ripple was really a bad doer and the SEC believed that too, then they, like 95% of the time, they would not tell them up front before suing them, right? That would be the freaking dumbest thing in the world. If you think a company is scamming people into investment contracts, you're not going to tell them 24 hours up front so that anybody that they can know can just sell to scam and hurt more people. Because if your main priority is to give people their money back, and you allow them to even get more money out of these people, it also makes no sense. So any motive that the SEC has here is kind of beyond our reach. It's maybe just to get a verdict, but it's definitely not for the consumer. It's definitely not to recoup losses, because once more, they wouldn't have gone this route. It's also definitely not to just seize their activities, because they could have had one fell exit swoop, and Ripple from the lawsuit should have been known that the SEC's main motive is to stop all the selling, which they then had one day to do that for. So that again would not make sense either. I've been checking out a couple of different articles here though about how many times the SEC has actually been sued. And one of the most interesting ones comes, I think, right here. I think right below here. It might be the next one up here. Maybe it's this one. Man, I've been reading so much here. I've been reading so much, guys. Could have also been this one. I'm just quickly checking. No, it's right here. So, SEC sued to overturn index annuity regulation. This suit was filed by American Equity Investment Life Insurance Co., a major provider of index annuities and other companies that market the products. In the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit, after the SEC published its rule in the Federal Register today, what was said here is that a coalition of equity index and annuity I should say annuity, but I'm used to annuity. Insurers or marketers today sued the SEC to overturn the index annuity regulation approved by the SEC in December. This is 11 years ago, so don't think this is just new, but it's about the bigger picture here. And if you scroll through, what the SEC basically wants, what they really want to do is compensate people who lost something, right? If they go to sue somebody, in this case here, all the rules that they put in here are most of the time to make sure that people don't take losses or people don't do unlawful things with the idea that it would be bad for the investor and the consumer. However, see this quote. It's a legally mistaken rule that will impose enormous cost on the industry, subjecting it to unnecessary and duplicative regulation. Basically coming down to this will cost a lot of people a lot of money, even though it is not necessary. And we've actually seen with a couple of different losses before that the SEC has made mistakes, as we see right here. Somebody, again, you can read here, but it's not that important who exactly. He led the U.S. Chamber of Commerce's successful defeat of the SEC's mutual fund governance rule in 2006. It has happened before where the SEC has made mistakes, and this is why the SEC makes a rule, or at least proposes a rule, because as we just have seen, it's not the SEC who can just do everything. They kind of have to go through a couple of layers, but they have some authority. However, again, a little bit further down, the Commission did not find that the state regulation was inadequate. It did not find that there were widespread sale practices abuses, and in fact, it said that whether there were abuses was irrelevant to the discussion to regulate. Respectfully, the rule consumed an enormous amount of SEC sources. It will impose hundreds of millions of dollars of cost on the industry, and it's bad law and bad policy to say that whether the rule is needed is irrelevant, given all the other challenges currently before the SEC. Mr. Scalia said, SEC spokesperson Josh Nestor said the agency has no comment on the suit. The basic point is here, these guys have made mistakes, these guys will keep making mistakes, and the bigger picture is that we, not us, you and I, but we as a country, if I'm talking about the US, or we as, I guess, the people, which the SEC is supposed to stand up for them, actually go and work back. Because what I personally think here is that there's quite a lot of people suing the SEC over time here because they make mistakes or they do something for the greater good, which is actually the worst good. You guys see what I'm trying to say here? Where they go and try to sue a company like Ripple with completely the wrong motives, I find. And now, again, we cannot conclude here that Ripple has done nothing wrong. I cannot say that necessarily. But is their decision, to quickly conclude that, is their decision to make this lawsuit as public, tell Ripple 24 hours up front, and actually sue them, resulting in $50 billion in losses, rather than the $1.3 billion which they're suing them from? Is that the better picture for the consumers, for people, for investors? You're not really protecting them then, are you? The only kind of thing I can kind of fetch is, okay, maybe they're thinking everybody right now who has money in XRP from the US, we can protect if we seize Ripple. Maybe that's a bigger picture behind it, because again, we've been seeing through the lawsuit, I've read every freaking page by now, almost twice, because I keep referring to places when I'm talking to people, and I have to read those parts again because it's a long thing. So I think I read the whole thing twice by now. Whenever I go about these sections, what I notice is that I'm kind of getting the wrong train of thought here because I'm talking over it, but that they are trying to protect U.S. consumers, maybe with the idea that, okay, out of the whole $50 billion, let's say, market cap that XRP has, we might be able to save $8 billion of that by right now suing Ripple. And even though there's only $1.3 billion in damages, in the end, because they're scamming people, quote unquote, we might actually get a better return on it because we actually might win a couple dollars. Another theory, of course, is that they sued them with the idea that Ripple will win and we can actually get a lot of adoption going on, which I had a couple of articles here from, but I kind of lost them in the research here, because I also was looking at this specific case right here, this case here by or from Madoff. After its Madoff report, can victims sue the SEC? Again, there's a lot of people wondering whether or not the SEC can actually be sued for, first of all, mistakes, but also pulling things through and making wrong choices. And kind of the result that I've gotten is, yes, they can be sued for quite a lot of the mistakes. And I personally feel as if the SEC has been negligent, and here down below you can see, quote, we're arguing that the SEC was negligent on multiple occasions for many reasons over multiple years, and they had detected the fraud a long time ago. Thousands of people would not have been so gravely injured, he said. The SEC, if Ripple was really a scam, waited 7 years to conclude these things. So they either give Ripple the benefit of the doubt, in which case they should, theoretically speaking, in my opinion, be sued once more, or they were literally just letting people lose more money than if they already thought about this all for 7 years. Are you guys getting that? If Ripple has been doing this in 2013, it's quite like the situation which we see right now. And again, you should read the whole little page right here if you want to get some more conclusions, but lots of people lose money through frauds. We all know that. But if the SEC can stop it, I would say they should. But if the costs are way bigger, especially if it's not a certain thing, together with the fact that the SEC is on a wrong path where they wait very long, where people are losing more money in this time, which they waited, where they thought something was wrong, then all they're doing is kind of digging their own grave, right? And again, I'm not saying you can sue or should sue the SEC. I'm just saying, theoretically speaking, if we look at history and look what has happened here over time, there have been multiple occasions on when suing the SEC was appropriate, or when the SEC should have been sued for their faults or faultiness. In my personal opinion, I'm not a lawyer. I do not know the freaking security laws. I'm just checking these articles out and giving my conclusions. But once more, I'm a moron. I'm just putting that up. I'm not that good with the law. If I'm saying stuff that doesn't make sense, let me know. I'm not even a U.S. citizen. I've never set foot in any U.S. SEC operated area. Understand that, all right? So I'm just trying to conclude some stuff with the things I found here. I just found that the SEC here is making no goddamn sense. Here was another one. Why we are suing the SEC, and this comes from 2019. The ISS legal action against its regulator aims to block rule changes for proxy advisors. I mean, there's also quite a lot of lawsuits, I must not lie, against the SEC or from the SEC that make no sense. But in the crypto space, I've seen so many over the last, 2 months. How many lawsuits did we see, guys? A freaking ton of them, mostly with the idea that we are there going to stop people from losing money. But many of the times, the SEC actually goes the wrong way. So here is another article which I found really amazing. States sue SEC claiming investors are left behind by new rules. The states say the SEC is putting investors in jeopardy by relaxing rules for brokers. The lawsuit asked a judge to order the agency to scrap new rules that weaken protection for consumers. The states say bad investment advice leaves consumers with less money to spend, thus hampering tax collection efforts. Once more, this is not for the people. Of course, this is for taxes. This is for the freaking government. They don't care about you. Keep that in mind. Now, this article, though, once more, not legal advice. I'm just a stupid guy on the internet, so don't trust me for this type of stuff. What I'm fetching from this one is the U.S., or the states, I should say, they also know from a certain perspective that the SEC can make rules which are wrong. They can make things more relaxed with the idea we're doing this for investors, but they're not always doing that. And even though this is a positive thing that the SEC put in, because they made relaxing rules for brokers, it's not like they can always make good choices and everything. And it's not like they, by relaxing things, are making things better. All right. I'm also not saying that suing Ripple is really a bad choice. But if they wanted to, they should have done this years ago before huge sums, huge billions of dollars were put in, and not give Ripple the heads up here for them to quote unquote sell if they really wanted to. I also think, there could have been a couple of different ways they could have gone about this, losing people a lot less money, and once more, they should have just stepped in quite a lot sooner. Or, just in my opinion, the best way to do this, work on proper regulations together with other entities, like the thumbnail in the video you saw right there. Work with other entities to make sure you have proper kind of framework set in place, and if Ripple overthrows that, then the Ripple will sue the SEC for making these rules, not the other way around, right? If Ripple overthrows them, or the SEC can then sue Ripple once they have proper rules in place. But you can't say, well, the security Howey test is a good thing to go by. Because all these cryptocurrencies here, they work so differently to it. I mean, I've said before, if XRP and Ripple are, I guess if XRP is the security of Ripple, then it wouldn't be possible, in my opinion, to just build completely on XRP, disregarding Ripple altogether. If Ripple were to go extinct right now, XRP would survive. Would it work properly? Well, yeah. Would it really go up in value? I don't think so if Ripple were to go away, but it could still survive. It could still go on. I could build something on XRP. You can build something on XRP. And even though Ripple is doing the most for it, and they are, I guess, incentivizing others to use ODL and stuff like that, we've all known that from the start. And again, none of us have thought, man, yeah, we're investing in Ripple, the company, so we're going to get profits from Ripple. No. If you really thought that, then I think it's your personal fault. Because I think Ripple has made it very clear Ripple and XRP are separate entities. Maybe in 2012, this could have worked. Maybe the SEC could have sued Ripple for 2012 and 2013. All right, I'm going to accept that if they do that. Or they can sue for 2013 and 2014. But over the course of so many years, if you're going to sue somebody, then either make sure that your suing has better, I guess, turnout than not suing, basically. Because what they're doing right now is kind of a bet that they're going to be right. But again, we've kind of seen that we all know from an ex-SEC commissioner here, a former SEC commissioner, that what they're doing right here will most likely just lose people way more money in the bigger picture of things. So it's not like that's their goal. And I just don't get what they want. I personally think they should have gone for proper regulation in their own sense. They should have just made a crypto rule book and then look at every crypto individually. Do you, conform our pieces or no? If not, we can either sue you sue us to change the rule, either of the two, and we could just move on, go on, right? That's what I personally think. And I'm pretty sure that that's the best way to go about it. Pretty damn sure. Not a freaking lawyer though. But let me know in the comment section if I make any sense. I just think what's happening right now, it doesn't make any sense. The former SEC commissioner further wrote, let's actually read this first quote first. In light of the recent SEC filing against Ripple Labs, which alleges that XRP is a security, we're going to halt all trading, right? This is from Bitstamp. And what happened here, once more, is that Bitstamp here doesn't actually know whether or not it is a security, but just kind of as a precaution, like a couple of these funds, they're stopping the support for XRP. Why? Because they, as we saw in one of these articles just now, don't want to be involved with the SEC filing. But as you can see, Coinbase here also had some consults with the SEC, actually has not made a choice yet, most likely because they are also in the middle of the SEC has only alleged something, they're suing them, but they, following the bigger rules, they do not have to take away this XRP from their exchange up front. The only thing is that if they have XRP once it's being filed as a security, then it might kind of backfire, right? But if they are trading something which is considered good and then the SEC sues them, it doesn't mean they have to automatically get rid of it instantly, because the SEC can be wrong, the SEC will sue, but they're not concluders. They will not conclude. That's up to the judgment system, if that's the right way to say it. Now, the SEC commissioner, though, wrote, there's a couple more quotes here, but it doesn't matter too much. Simply initiating the action will impose substantial harm of innocent holders of XRP like you and I, regardless of the ultimate resolution. Upon learning of the proceeding, intermediaries will cease transacting in XRP because of the associated legal risk. The resulting reduction in liquidity will cause XRP's value to decline, which is why in the previous video I said we can go down a little bit. The SEC's acting chair, Elad Roisman, also reportedly discussed the evolving crypto market back in 2018, quoting, "The SEC must examine and re-examine its rules, regulations, and guidelines to ensure that they're still working as intended to accomplish the SEC's mission," he said at the time. Once more, quote, "This is most recently manifested in areas such as data protection and cybersecurity, as well as the emergence of new investments in technologies such as initial coin offerings and blockchain." For which I kind of feel as if Ripple is just going to be the start of some bigger swoop. If Ripple's XRP, that's the way I'm calling it right now, is deemed a security, any crypto could fall. It's not like Bitcoin and Ethereum are officially safe, because the SEC can sue them again to try to change these rules. It's not an official legal thing that will last forever. It's always a temporary thing because it can be sued again, it can be overthrown. That's why these rules are here, that's why laws change. The Howey test has been here for a very long while, is subject to change if this pulls through, because they kind of want to set a new standard, I think, and Ripple is the guinea pig. But that is my thoughts. That is my opinion on the situation. I had some other articles open here about some random crypto news, but I guess I'm going to keep this as a kind of legal episode to give my thoughts, kind of a rant. Check out Unstoppable Domains if you want to look for some cool other investments, not financial advice, by the way. And we will use this because you can get 4 free stocks if you're from the US. Check it out, link down below. And I'll see you soldiers all in the next video. My head is off to you if you've also been in the same type of situation that I'm in. See you guys again in another crypto video.